Yo, what's going on, people? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We're back live for Late Vibes. You know the score, man. We're here Tuesday evening. Obviously, in America, it's about 5:10 in the East Coast, and obviously the West Coast. You're looking at what 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock around there. You know what I'm saying? So big up to anyone who's watching around the world. Big up to you lot. We got a lot to discuss, man. Even though, you know what I mean, it's getting a little bit frustrating because we need that midfielder and we need maybe 1 or 2 players to go. But with Temi, what's good? What's good?
I'm good, man. Shout out to the panel. Love to everybody. Hey, everyone, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Saeed's close to 100K, so make sure to show our boy some love. You feel me? And it's gonna be a good show. I can already feel it, bro. It's gonna be a good show.
Come on. Big up to you, man. We got a man like Brian. You know what I mean? The elite. Oh, call him elite troll on Twitter. You know what I mean? Not elite troll.
Jesus Christ. What an introduction. No, I'm feeling very good. We won our first game. This is the first show that I've done since that game. So I think there's a lot to talk about as well in regards to how we played and where we can improve. So feeling good.
Yeah, man. Big up Yabba in the building. What you saying, Yabba?
Yeah, man. Enough respect, Saeed TV. Welcome. I'm saying welcome. You're welcoming me, but big up to everyone on the panel, and surprised that it's 2 Englishmen against 4 Americans, and we hope that we don't. Right. England and America have always got on. We've always been cousins, people from across the pond.
Yeah, but
I'm sure I won't be bumping heads. I'm sure I won't be bumping heads with Brian. I won't be doing any crossovers on people and switching or tackles. What do they call them in American football? I'm here as one of your cousins from the other side of the pond, and we're here to represent Saeed TV and Manchester United Football Club.
That's it, man. Big up to the New Yorkers in the building. What you saying, Staffy? Omar, what you saying, man?
Well, I just want to say, yeah, about jokes on you. It's 5-on-1 because Saeed is coming to New York in a couple of weeks, so he's actually on our side. So you better start running, bro.
Oh, Saeed, when you pull up to New York. When you pull up,
dude, man, I'm just trying to work on it, man. I'm working on the deals, the final details. You know the ones there.
Bro, listen, I was in the last
JFK. There we land in JFK.
Yeah,
there we land.
Touchdown
for the fanatics.
There
you go, baby.
Come on, man. Shout out to 6. Come on, they already know. They're not knowing, man. They don't know.
Bro.
They don't know, man.
I'm not hearing it, bro. I'm not
assist. Let's talk about the open goal he missed.
That was a bad pass. That was a bad pass.
That jersey behind you, stocks went down.
Oh, it was a bad pass. Don't knock
There we go.
Oh my God. You saying it's a bad pass? See what he's doing side already.
It was a bad pass, brother.
Yeah, but listen, we're here, man. But listen, big up to everyone who's locked in. 500 in the building already. Make sure you like the video. Listen, Ugarte. That's the name on everyone's lips right now. Pause, but it's one of them. Yeah, that I had to just, you know what I mean, straight in there. Tell me, man. You know what I mean? Let me know if it's done by Friday, man. You know what I mean? I need to know.
Hey, listen, I was 1 day off. But hey, it still happened, didn't it? It still happened the same week. So you got to give me some credit for that. But yeah, bro, the Ugarte thing, I'm not stressed, bro. I'm really not stressed about it. They're clearly negotiating and they're not trying to get bullied. That I think that has been the clear like theme of this summer is this new regime is not trying to overpay for any players. They're not trying to get under sell somebody for too low a price. I think they're trying to reset the market on Man United's transfer business, right? So it's not going to be easy. There's going to be things we don't like. We're going to be impatient, right? We didn't sell Scott McTominay the way we wanted to with Fulham. That kind of fell through because we held our guns to our price, and I respect it. It seems like a similar thing's happening with Ugarte. PSG are clearly trying to play with us, right? They're trying to do whatever. So we can't. I like the fact that they're not budging. You feel me? They're not budging off of their stance. And there's other midfielders, bro. Rabiot is still out there. You feel me? There's things. There's opportunities to get other players. You feel me? So I wouldn't stress too much about Ugarte. I think it's gonna happen. But I don't think anybody should be overly worried. I'll be real about it. They've proven that they can get things done. That like in this first 2-3 months of the winter, like they've shown that they can get good deals done. So let's just let it ride. We still got a couple weeks left. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, 11 days, isn't it? 11 days.
You're stressed, Omar?
No, I'm just living, bro. My fault, bro. I'm just getting some comments, and the Garnacho hate is crazy, but it's all good, My boy cooking, like I said, my boy cooking.
Yeah, listen, don't worry.
That jersey one day stocks is gonna be really up, but I'm not. No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Tammy. I'm sorry. It's how you feel.
No. Go ahead. It's all good.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. Go on, Omar. Go on.
Honestly, I just love the fact that we not getting finessed, bro, anymore. Like it's really just a lovely thing because you could all. We've seen this so many times in the past that anytime we go for a player or anything we wanted, it's just like we have to get. You just get clapped on the deal insanely. So I'm glad we held our ground all summer. We had other options. Obviously, the one that went to Burnley, that's an option. That we were still, let's focus up. Let's still get our guy. And I think I'm pretty sure. I think they just think Mano's the guy. They see something in Mano that some people can't see, and they see something in that position that he's the prime target. Because obviously there's backup targets, but they're still insisting to go for him. So I'm glad, like they're doing proper business. Have we fell on business in other places? Yeah, maybe, but from what we've seen in the past, this is definitely like a great incline to what we had in the past.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best example because it's like the more you kind of keep something that you don't really want to need, like it's almost like you need to get rid of it. You end up just saying, take it now. And I feel like that's the same thing with Ugarte. Like PSG don't actually need him, but they're thinking that it's the old regime where we would have just said, you know what, right, go on then, whatever you want, we'll have it. And I don't think Ineos are doing that. If you don't clearly value your player, then that means surely we need to come to agreement that A, we're not paying that money this year, or B, like I said to you,
he signed to PSG for 70 mil, right?
No, 60 million euros.
But with add-ons, I think it was like some couple. No, maybe
add-ons.
No, it was. I think it was a straight 60 million euros. I don't know if I think he had a release clause or something.
How much are they requiring from us?
They want 60 million euros.
Yeah, which is dumb as hell because he literally did nothing last season.
I wouldn't say he did nothing. I mean, he started pretty well.
What had PSG done other than win the league?
Gotcha. No, I get what you mean. I'm just saying, like, in regards to if people should be freaked out or not in regards to whether we pay what they want, I think they're going to cave on the price eventually. Either it's
Me too.
We pay 10 million in a loan deal right now and then pay a certain amount next year if you want to buy him completely. I think that's what's going to happen in an obligation to buy. So I'm not worried about the deal. But what's frustrating is more so we have started the season and this stuff is still going on. You want to have your full team before the season starts, but that's a lot of teams. That's Manchester City. They're looking at Gundogan. That's Arsenal. They still haven't wrapped up Moreno. So there's a lot of teams who haven't finished their business either. So I'm not stressed. We've signed how many players? Well, four players. Am I wrong?
Four so far.
Four. So,
on our terms as well. All on our terms, not on their terms.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's the best efficiency in a transfer window we've had for
a while,
a long time. I would say since the season where we signed, I think Nani was maybe we signed a lot of players that season. So
even our second season, we got like 6 signings.
Nani.
I just think also in terms of quality of signing and how they improve us. We signed a lot of players looking for our season, but I didn't rate a lot of them.
If you think about it, out of the big six, we've had the best window so far. Like I really can't.
Yeah.
Who's had a better window? You could. I don't. If you could say Chelsea, I'm not buying it. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm not buying it.
Not when you don't know what they're.
We don't. They're just throwing darts at the board. So,
but to be fair, no one in the big six really revamped the squad. So
that's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. Is that
I mean,
Liverpool?
But
they tried Omar. Liverpool tried
the window low key.
Yeah, of course. That's why I said the big six. Like Chelsea, or excuse me, Liverpool tried to get Zubimendi. They didn't get it over the line.
They flopped, but they did. They
flopped.
Listen.
Arsenal have been working on Marino since May. You feel me? Like, so you can we've done the best business out of the traditional big six. It's like not a question. It's been the most efficient business.
In fairness to some teams, like let's break down, for example, City and Arsenal. I don't think they need much, anyways.
No. Arsenal didn't need much, to be fair. They only needed two little jigs. Like,
but they probably needed a striker, maybe something else.
I agree. But they didn't have a lot to do. But the season's already started, and they haven't done it. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, facts.
If you only had two, let's say, okay, Arsenal need a midfielder, they need a striker, and they knew that in February of last season, and it's the new season, they haven't gotten it done. Would you call that efficient? I would.
I'm not gonna hold you, Temmie, though. On God, bro, if United haven't come into the transfer window hot, it would have been a shit show. It would have been hellhole. Because we finished off 8th with a new structure coming in. They had to do that statement. You had no other option but to make a statement. We finished 8th last season. Like
8th, no.
Yeah, but I would also say they didn't do it. They didn't do it in the way we've done it.
No, facts. That's what I'm saying.
And I think they were always gonna do business, but for instance, we had to sell before we could buy, right? Like we were doing things in a more tactical way as opposed to
if Wan-Bissaka,
like 50 million, Højlund 70 million.
That was also because of the Glazers.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm making the point here that that's the difference is that we're not spending 60 million for Mason Mount with a year left on his contract. We're not spending 70 million for Højlund when he's just. We have to wait and see what he's going to be, but he was never worth 70 million at that. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'll die on that hill. So that's the little differences. People are talking about, De Ligt is too much money. Bro, in 2 years, I'm confident De Ligt will be more than what we bought for him. I'm confident about that. Or the same price, right? So he's only 24 years old. So Mazraoui, 15 million.
Temmie, there's no disputing. I mean, confidence, you achieve things and you get confidence. And I've got confidence now with the signings we've made and the movements we're making. I think the whole fan base, we're talking backstage with Saeed, he was at the game the other day, and the crowd seem, the fans seem to be quite optimistic at the moment. And that comes from success in the transfer market, the way we're moving. The issue is that we do need a midfielder. That's clear. And we've identified people and they've come to the club. The 4 signings already made. That's clear as well. With Ugarte, I'm not privy to watching French football or Portuguese football to watch him every week to know how he is compared to a Premiership player. For example, Aston Villa signed the big Belgian midfielder that we were kind of linked with. I know him. I've seen him play. I'm qualified to talk. At least, I'm not a scout or anything, but at least I can say, I can assess him and say, okay, he'll be a good fit or something. But he's been signed for 50 million because we've seen him play in the Premiership. And unless you don't think there's a drop from the Prem to other leagues, and some people struggle to make that jump, then we can't be having this conversation. But Ugarte, for me, I think he ticks the boxes because he can intercept the ball and he can close things up and make us a bit more secure in midfield. I imagine that's what we desire in a midfielder, and that's what he's ticking the boxes for. So I trust him now to say, all right, I've watched him. I still don't think he's physical enough or whatever, but you have my faith. You know, go and take it and do what you have to do. Run with it. So if you're talking about getting a loan deal, I was like, yeah, that's good. That makes sense because at least that way he can come have a season in the Prem, a bit like Amrabat did, and then we can say, sorry.
No, we have to buy.
Goodbye. You know, we don't need you. You know, like that. Rather than spend big money on someone where I don't know whether he can make the jump into the Premier League and be successful. We had Casemiro. They called him Champions League Casemiro, like Varane. He won so much. He was so successful. And even he said, he come out and quoted and saying, boy, not in these words, but he said, boy, this Premier League, man, compared to La Liga, it's different. I'm going to have to step it up. So can Ugarte have the scouts really done their homework to say Ugarte can come in and do the job? That's why I say a loan deal is good. But then I got slapped earlier because they said to me, it's a loan deal with an obligation, which means we have to sign him. So mind blown. I don't know. I'm still up in the air about this one.
I'm not worried about Ugarte as a player that we should sign because his profile suits exactly what we want. Because if you watch the game against Fulham, one of the biggest problems we had, even though Casemiro, I think his performances were a little bit better, he thinks sometimes he's a number 10 where he gets the ball and he wants to play this progressive pass.
He plays good there, though.
Yeah, but we don't need that. It's an unnecessary risk because once he plays that pass and he loses possession, he's not getting back. Like, he's not going to win the ball back early. Casemiro is good winning the ball back in maybe deeper lines of defense, but higher up the pitch, not necessarily. And I think that's where Ugarte is better, where if he gets the ball and he gets into that position, he's not going to play an unnecessary pass. He will play a pass to a player that will maybe make that maybe more progressive pass. Keep it simple. That's all we need to do. We need to just retain the ball. Like, half our problems that we have is we don't retain possession when we should, while forcing a play. Look at Marzouari. He gets the ball, he retains it, picks out smart, intelligent passes. Zirkzee, when he came on, after the goal he scored, he started doing the same thing. If we retain that ball, we won't get counted on as much as we do, last season, even though against Fulham it wasn't as bad. So for me, Cas was good, but in those really high up areas where you want him to just play the safe pass, because we already camped in their box, we don't need to force it, then that's what Ugarte will give you, because I think he'll be more safe on the ball. That's what we need.
So you're happy to invest 50 million in someone that's not played in Premier League before?
But teams do that though. Teams do that. That's not new.
Teams have done that. I'm talking about because we've looked at him for a long time. He's the guy we want. But we're saying it's a loan deal. I would say take the loan without the obligation, so we can assess him.
I think this is where the problem for me. What United should have done was then get 2 midfielders in. If you're not going to buy him this summer, then you go get another midfielder alongside Ugarte, which then covers both sides. Because then you've got a player who can maybe play, and then you've got a player who, like I said, Ugarte can do all of the running and the actual covering in terms of the midfield. So that's where I think United, the only problem, but that's where Rabiot comes in. If Rabiot's
no,
yes,
I don't know. Yes. Jesus,
why?
No. What is this obsession with Rabiot? I don't understand it.
What is this hate train for Adrien?
It's not hate. It's not hate, right?
Brian, I'm calling you out.
If we were going to get Rabiot on loan, I wouldn't mind it. But the issue is still a problem, because if we get him on the wages we get him on, he's going to be hard to shift. But that's why for me it's a problem. I don't want to play in 2 seasons time where we're going to be like, man, we need to shift Rabiot because he's 32 years old and nobody wants him. I'd rather give those minutes to Collier, because Collier has actually looked good in preseason.
No,
Rabiot is not going to for me. It's a problem. It's a problem.
But okay, I think you're overreacting. Let's start there.
Deadwood has cost me, man, in this team.
Wait, hold up. If Adrien Rabiot was gonna get the wages he wanted, he'd be on the team by now. The season started. He has not signed. He's clearly, I would imagine, not just negotiating with or having conversations with Manchester United. He has probably been around and no one has met his demands. He will eventually have to play football somewhere. You feel me? So I think what Ineos or whoever is, they're just waiting for the right moment because the season started. He's eventually going to want to play football. And I don't
how much wages would make sense for you?
I think in the 120 range. He's a French international. He starts weekend. He starts for one of the best teams in the world. I don't think that's a crazy price, and I don't think they're going to sign him to a 5-year contract. I don't see that, and I don't see them doing that. I think it would be a 2, maybe 3-year deal, around 100 to 150 in that price range, and it's done. I think how old is he? 28, 27?
It's 28, 29.
29. 29 years old is not old, by the way.
But my thing is, we are limited now, Brian, on
I agree.
options, on availabilities. So I think for me, if you want something relatively, just on a free transfer, is someone that can play in a system that we can be a bit more secure and whatnot. I didn't want him at the start of the window, but I have to understand that he is a player that you can trust in these squad, in these big games as well.
Does he make our squad better? Let's just it's a simple. Does he make our squad better?
Yeah, I think
as long as it's not a ridiculous deal, as long as it's not a ridiculous deal,
it won't be.
I'm fine with it. I don't want a player that we have to shift in 2 years because we've had enough of that. Even we have Eriksen is still in the squad. Eriksen was a free transfer. He's still in the squad. He's sitting out to see the rest out of his contract. Like we still have those players. So for me, I get it. Maybe Ineos want to get him down on wages, which we should, because we need to stop giving out the ridiculous wages, man.
They're not going to pay him.
So I'm just saying, I need to see what the offer is.
But I don't think
if it happens.
I don't think you need Rabiot though, because especially with you don't know the outgoing on Scott McTominay. You don't know if that's going out, and then on the same time, if you're
I still think you need one more with Scott McTominay. Like we've lost.
If McTominay goes, then Rabiot starts to make a little bit more sense.
Rabiot and many others, maybe bringing an Amrabat, whatever it is. Then you have other options to bring in. But so far, and you could tell, especially the Fulham game with him putting Toby on bench. I think there's like, okay, I need to break this kid in this season.
You not really think Toby's ready this season?
No, rotational,
off the bench.
They'll bet
better than
him in.
McTominay at 20.
They'll do the same
thing.
Man,
with these
No, I agree.
Not everyone's a Mainu.
What's going to happen?
No, but not everybody's a Mainu, man. Not everybody's a Mainu.
You don't need everybody to be a Mainu. You don't need everybody to be a Mainu.
Yeah, but we've got Mainu in there, right? I just feel like.
They're gonna do the same. Remember Kobe's first, his debut season, right, where he played against in the Cup. Who did he play against? We won 3-0.
Wasn't it Reading?
No, it's Cole something. I can't remember. But that season, something like that. I don't know. Ten Hag's first full season where he didn't really play, but they were just one 45 minutes here.
Bro, I think you gotta
but if we sign a Rabiot, then we can do what we can do. Have the same plan that we had with Kobe for Toby. That no pun intended there, but yeah, like that. I think that would be the plan. Get a new Ugarte, get a Rabiot, bed Toby in here and there for Europa League games or Carabao Cup games or whatever the case may be. So
there hasn't really been any links to Rabiot.
He's League Cup only, bro. The boy, first of all, is very mature on the ball for his age. Let's be honest with you. Second of all, bro, his positional awareness is really like, honestly, is top tier, bro. And it takes a lot to be 20 years old with good positional awareness.
But my
Casemiro last season.
He's good. He's going to be good.
Casemiro. I'm not staffing you. I don't hate Casemiro. I actually like Casemiro. But you've seen his positional awareness. And that man won 5 Champions Leagues. It's just kind of
our sample size for most of us has been what? I'll be honest, our sample size, what we're using right now, is what pre-season? Yes or no? Like we haven't watched enough game time from Toby Collier.
If it was Ahmad, if it was anybody else, it would have been a glazed donut. Fucking.
No, but that would have been that's star quality. A lot of Toby Collier's for me is like he's not. I'm not saying he's a steady Eddie, but you can tell like he's gonna mature into that role. But I think right now to put him into that option of maybe a 3rd choice, 4th choice midfielder right now is a bit too soon for me. So I would ship Eriksen.
Next season.
Would ship Eriksen and say, right, he's
going to play. Omar, he's gonna play. That's the
he
thing. He's going to play. Like he's gonna get game time. I think the point
he's very similar to Declan Rice.
He's a good player. He's a good. No, listen, I'm a big Toby Collier fan. I think he's gonna be a very good player. Whether at Man United or somewhere else, I think he's gonna be a very good player. But I think that you can't we don't want to get to a point where we have to play him. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like the pressure's on him. We need to get past the point where we're expecting 18-year-old and 20-year-olds to give us these big, like Kobe Manu was our best player last season. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I think it's a bad thing. You don't want a 20-year-old being your undoubted best player week in, week out.
When you properly deep it, it's not good.
You need senior pros helping Kobe Manu get it. Like, who's Kobe Manu like really looking up to? He's better than Bruno. Like he's not, like who is he looking up to? Like he's not looking up to anybody.
Is crazy. Bruno Sanders.
Kobe's better than Bruno. Let's be real. Come on now.
He's more talented, but he has a lot to do to get his career.
Bro.
With the quality situation, we all agree we need to develop.
We're going to just let that rock. We're going to really let.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do with Collier? You're going to keep him in the squad and give him the occasional game.
Yeah, just keep him in the squad.
In the cup or something. Would that develop him? Or does a guy like that need first team football?
Wow.
So our loan success rate, putting people on loan, hasn't been the greatest in recent years.
Do you look at Rico Lewis? Give me an example. Rico Lewis, yeah. Does he play every time for Man City?
No, his development is good.
No, but you see, Saeed. That's the thing, though.
He gets games. He gets to play important games as well. You see him. He played the Charity Shield last year. He's playing in Europe as well. And I think when you got a successful side like we did, remember the season we got rid of Hughes, Kanchelskis, and Ince, was it? And then we brought in the youngsters. We were like, holy goddamn! I'm talking American now. What do you say? Holy, whatever you say. Holy
flip, holy shit.
Howdy, this is damn wrong, man. But we were shocked by that. But he brought in youngsters because the stability was there. He wouldn't have done that in 86, 87 when he first come in. He brought in seasoned pros like Neil Webb and all these guys to come in and have a bit of security. When you get to the stage like Man City, you asked about Rico Lewis. When you get to stage like Man City, you can bed in a youngster quite easily because the system's already there throughout the whole club. And I think it's easy to do that.
And that's United need to bed in quality rather than youngsters in at this stage right now. I don't think United's primary aim right now is to bed in youngsters. We need to just bed in quality to fill the gaps that we are already missing now.
There needs to be a route in for the youngsters. If you're playing,
no, there will be when they're good enough.
Yeah, to say, here's Kobe. This is what happened with Kobe. He comes in. Here's Amos, whatever. There's an opportunity for him to come in. So there needs to be a thing to say. All right, Amos, look, you look Shaw's this age. We're planning on you. If you develop this like this rate, you could be in the first team by this. You need to have some sort of motivation to say, here's my target. I need to meet that. And I think Collier, am I pronouncing his name right?
Collier, yeah.
Collier. So excuse if I'm butchering his name. But he looks good. But then at the same time, I remember a couple of years ago, I was looking at Zidane Iqbal and saying, "Why this boy look good? If I come in the side." But I'm not qualified to judge him like that because clearly I haven't heard a wink from him since he's gone to the Dutch league. I don't know. I don't hear anything about him.
He's doing decent. Yeah, he's doing decent. Maybe that's a prime example of. Yeah. You know what? We don't know.
But you can't compare Zidane to Cope because I feel like it was two different positions and then the pressure.
Zidane was 10 times the player this Collier is. Let's be honest. In terms
of come on,
bro. Ability wise, are you kidding me, bro?
No,
but you know what? You know what's mad though? Yeah, this is why fans sometimes don't know. Let me land my point.
We for a mill. Hold up.
Let me just land. Sometimes we as fans don't know that, you know what, maybe Zidane Iqbal isn't ready for the Premier League just yet. And you know what, he needs to maybe go to another league and progress there. And this we as fans were like, get him in the first team, get him in and amongst it, man. He could do. Nah, man. He go now to Dutch league, go and perform over there, do what he's got to do. Same with Collier. I feel like people are just rushing him because maybe there's not a lot lack of players in that midfield. And it's like, why is the rush? Because we don't want to get Rabiot. Come on, man. Just because, you know what? We don't want to stunt the growth of Collier. We need to fill in the gaps of quality now.
But that's not why I don't want Rabiot, to be clear. I'm not worried about stunting Collier's growth. It's more so about Rabiot himself and making sure we don't add another piece of deadwood into the squad. As long as the wages we give him isn't ridiculous and we can move him on if we need to next season, because we really don't know what this guy's attitude is. He's a free agent. How motivated is he to come in and play for Manchester United? you guys can say he's a good player all we want, but we've had good players come in and they haven't risen to the occasion and played for the team. I don't want to add another player that's not going to be a professional, give their best for the squad, because he has no reason to. He's a free agent right now.
When have you, okay, respectfully, Brian, when have you ever heard, outside of his issue with his mom and contracts, like on the pitch or in the, like, where is he causing all this drama? Where is he causing all this commotion?
It's not.
Let me land on
Okay,
this real quick, because I think the challenge with Rabiot is it's more of a perception than an actual. On the pitch, when he plays for his teams, he doesn't let his teams down. He doesn't. It's just, if you ask Juventus fans, PSG, this guy has won league titles in multiple leagues. He's played at the highest level, played well at the highest level. Like, who are we to be like, oh, you know, is he gonna? He's good enough. He'll play, and he'll play a role.
It's a good question to ask, because we've had issues in the past. The players coming into the team and not giving 100%. That's all I'm saying. If the recruitment team right now in Manchester United are like, okay, we trust him, fine, because they've signed players that I've rated with Euro and whatnot, and I trust their judgment. But if they come out and say we do not trust that bringing this player into the squad is going to be beneficial for the team, I don't think people should be upset about that, because I have concerns with that too.
I would not be. Listen, if we don't get him, I'm not going to lose an iota of sleep.
Yeah, no, we're not going to lose that.
I promise you. But do I think that if we get him, he will raise the floor of our squad significantly, especially in midfield, where we struggle for balance, creativity at times, ball retention, all these things that he can provide a team? Why would I'm confident they're not going to overpay him. I think that's in my head. They've shown that this whole summer, they've shown we are not going to overshow our hand. We're not going to overspend. We're not going to sell players for too cheap, because if we continue that precedent, it will stick the next transfer window and the next transfer window. So again, I don't think
we're talking about Sanderberg instead. I don't know what we spent all this time talking about Rabiot. We should talk about
Sanderberg, bro.
He went to Fulham.
Now, Fulham, by the way, I might be cooking now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they got Sanderberg yesterday.
Sanderberg.
They played three. They played
Anderson today.
They played 3D chess. They played 3D chess on us, bro. It's crazy.
I'm not gonna let that Sanderberg deal. It was a double whammy, because not only did they get a player that we were interested in, that means we're stuck with McTominay for one more year. This is why
Napoli are looking at McTominay.
Does anyone really believe he's going to Napoli? Because I can't.
I do.
Yeah,
bro. I'm not trying to
see Napoli. Did you see Napoli this past weekend? Did you see Napoli? They got
garbage. I heard
they got popped off. I watched the game, bro. They got popped off the park. Bro.
Oh, sorry. You mean, bro? I watched the highlights. Conte had his head down,
bro.
They got destroyed.
I watched the second game, bro, or the second half. Excuse me. I was like, I couldn't name you one player, but it was some of the most entertaining football I saw the whole weekend. It was beautiful to see. So they long story short, they need Scott McTominay, bro. They need to pay up. You feel me?
They're not gonna get him, bro. And that's why they were trying to loan him in, bro. Our best chance was with Fulham, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm coming more to reality to accept that he's gonna be here for one more year.
Yeah, I think they're trying. He didn't want to go to Fulham, and that's because Napoli has been trying to get an agreement with him in terms on terms. So I think he
in the Premier League.
But Napoli ain't paying up, bro.
No,
they don't make money like that. Fulham has more money.
They have money, especially if they're going to sell Osimhen. Napoli have money. They're probably one of the most. They're probably one of the most wealthier Italian teams that can actually splash the cash. So in terms of most likely transfers, I think McTominay going to Napoli because they need him. They are not playing Osimhen. Like Osimhen wants out, and I think it's more likely that he goes to Chelsea now than anything. So if that does happen, I can see McTominay going to Napoli. Because if I'm being honest with you, would you rather go to Fulham or would you play for Napoli?
Oh, of course, Napoli.
No, of course.
I can't lie to you. Right now, I'd rather play for Fulham.
All right, side tripping.
Look what happened to
let's end the stream. Let's end the stream. Let's end the stream.
No, I'll be serious.
The stream is over.
How many times?
Let him explain.
What's his name? Chelsea striker. Who went to Roma?
Tammy Abraham.
Abrahams, yeah. He's getting shuffled around, and thing. He hasn't really settled there. The only guy is the centre back from Chelsea who went to AC Milan. He's done okay tomorrow, but everyone else, I mean,
because he was actually good.
English players don't really go out and settle that well. And I'd be surprised that what you're saying there, Brian, that he would prefer Napoli. Maybe they might get championship football. I would be surprised by that, because I think he would rather stay in the UK where he can still be a profile, still be somebody.
I think he'd thrive.
I would stay in the UK.
Napoli, listen, they're in serious trouble at the minute. Like, I don't know if you guys have read into them and admit, like, they've got issues with the owner. There's a lack of spending, lack of ambition at the minute. Osimhen is leaving. I think Kvaratskhelia will leave next season. Bro, they've got an ages squad. Like, bro, it's not as like when that Spalletti did a lot at Napoli. He is that guy there to win a league title first in 30 years is unbelievable. You're going to a Fulham team now who are showing a bit about
it's still Napoli. It's still Napoli.
I get it. It's glamorous because they played not playing in Europe this year, are they? Napoli.
Fulham finished 15th or 14th in the Premier League last season.
But I know, but
Premier League, there's money there.
They spent money this summer. He could be a first teamer, score in a role where maybe he gets a lot of freedom or whatnot. Like, bro, like,
no matter the amount of money they spend, they can spend all the money they want. They're going to be mid-table. They're going to be 10th, 11th, 13th. Like, they're not going to finish in the top.
Glamorizing Napoli at the minute, man.
This is you just asked, would you rather go to Napoli? Like, it doesn't matter how far.
Right now, I'm going to Fulham. If I'm a player right now, I'm going to Fulham.
No chance. Look, times have changed. Like Matthew from Desmond used to say, this ain't the 1990s no more.
But everybody's different, though. Everybody's different.
There's prestige back then, but now the more prestige is playing in the Premiership. So if you're playing for Fulham,
everybody's different. Let's be clear. For one, he's going to play in Italy. Okay, there's football romanticism about that. He wants to go play in Italy. There's so much. It's not. He doesn't like. Maybe for him, it's motivation. Think about it. You've played in Manchester United your whole career. Here's an opportunity to maybe go to another league and do something instead of just playing in the Premier. It's motivation. For me as a player, I'd be more motivated because that's a more exciting move than just going to Fulham. Like, that don't do anything any season.
With
really.
Napoli, there's at least a hope I can compete for something in the league. Right? They're only 3 years removed from a league title or 2 years removed from a league title.
They ain't winning the league title.
Like, they're not winning the league title, but it's the profile of the club at the end of the day. I'm sorry. Like, people still.
Bro, you see what Conte's saying about the club?
Of course, the club is not in a good spot. But again, it's not. We're acting as if Fulham are Brighton or Villa, who have actually made it to Europe.
No, but they got potential.
Bro. Brother. One thing. When people come, we've had 4 signings this year, we got rejected in the past because remember Bellingham was presented at Man United and he said no. Everybody said no. The guy, the De Jong, they all said no. But lately, people are coming and we're presenting players at Carrington or whatever, and people are saying yes. So the same applies for Fulham. Smith Rowe has decided to go there, an England player who's got England caps, and they've sold some Polina, whatever. They're bringing in players. I think if you go there as Scott McTominay and you're sold the dream, you're sold something which is suitable for you, you could say yes. So I don't think it's a case anymore of the prestige of playing in Serie A. It's about what the club can sell you, about the project going forward, and how they can entice you into saying you're going to play this role. You're going to be this sort of player for us, and that could tick the boxes for what you need. So I understand what you're saying about Napoli, definitely a bigger club, Diego Maradona, the history they have, and all that kind of thing, but I wouldn't say it's a given that Scott McTominay would choose them over in 2024.
No, I hear that. I hear all those points. Let me put it like this. I understand they're spending a bunch of money, right? That's a fact. I can't argue that. But Nottingham Forest have also spent. They've probably been the highest spenders over the last how many years, or the last couple seasons, the last 2 seasons? Haven't they been the highest? Yes, like incomings. They have bought a ton of players. They've been a relegation type team. I'm not just talking about old history. I'm talking about what have you done for me lately? Fulham finished 15th, right? They're going to spend money. Their goal is to finish in the top 10. Still, that's their goal. Their goal is not really even Europe. It's top 10. That's their goal, right? Napoli, no matter what happens, Serie A has been competitive they haven't had a back-to-back winner in 5 seasons or five. They haven't had a back-to-back winner in.
It's competitive leagues.
It's competitive. Yes, Napoli are down, but there's times where Milan has struggled or whatever the case may be. You never know in that league. It's a toss-up. So if I can have a potential chance to win a league title, I have Antonio Conte as a manager, right? Versus again Fulham.
Yes, I don't know, man. They
spent money.
And to be honest, it's the reports though. These are the reports out of Italy that Scott McTominay is favoring.
What reports have you seen? Because I've seen.
I can send him see if I can get it.
I need to see credible reports from Napoli. You know what I'm saying? But to be fair, it's Laurie Whitwell that talked about it today. To be fair, on his report, you know what I mean. But listen, I hope he goes, man, because bro, and I've seen a lot of people saying he should stay, and I just feel like, what are you doing, mate? What are you doing? You know, like what are we doing, guys? He's very average, you know, and he needs to go. We need to get that money from Thingy. I know you do rate him, Scott McTominay, but we've got to get rid of him.
Of course, I rate him. I'm not.
What are you rating for? May I ask?
Bro, let's not do this again.
Right, I'm not going to get. We've had this before so many times.
I probably wasn't here.
I understand it's all about opinions, but I rate him because we're playing in the Premier League, and I think he's suited for us as a squad player. I'm not saying first team player, as a squad player. The guy scored 10 goals last season.
Oh.
Right. Now, hold on. I see the moans and groans. 10 goals last season. Coming off the bench, not playing every game. The guy.
That's it.
Let me finish the thing. So, what is this? A credible report?
Yeah, from Alfredo Puello. Sorry.
That's fair. Also, if we keep him for another year, then we can add an extension to his contract. This is someone who come off the bench. This is someone who's got Man United in his heart and will give 110%. You're talking about Rabiot. We're having a discussion in it. 50-50. People are saying we want him. Some people don't want him because we're unsure whether he's going to give 100%. With McTominay, you know he's going to give 100%.
How do we know that? Though?
Because the evidence is there. Oh, yeah, maybe. I'm speculating there. Sorry. But I'm saying with McTominay, the evidence there, I'm not ready to get rid of him. He must go. I'd rather Eriksen go before he does, because at least I know with McTominay, he's got the power, he's got the physicality, he's got the athleticism to come on and do a job. And he follows instructions. You don't hear any slander about him or any sort of negative news off the pitch. On the pitch, he's a machine. He's built like a unit. He's strong. He gives his all. And I think the mentality for now, while we're taking baby steps towards winning titles and major trophies again, for now, I don't see the real need to dash him out the club just because people say he's not technically good enough or whatever.
So can I reply?
Now, so just finalize. From now, I'm not going to go into it anymore. I think he's a good role model to have in the club. And sometimes there's things. This would say a lot of managers have played him over the last few years. Different managers going from Oli, Mourinho, and who else. They've always found a way to play him. We got to look at other characteristics that we don't see as fans on the pitch, but in the change room, on the training ground, where he could be a good leader and a good role model for players, even senior players, to say that's the standard, that's the bar setter. So I like McTominay's character. I agree with you when you criticize him. I agree with some things. Okay, yeah, maybe we're not going to win titles with having guys like that. But for now, I don't see the need to push him out the club because all I'm hearing is, yeah, he's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go.
Okay,
like
so
can I answer it? Crash or something. You know, I'm not with that.
Okay, so let me answer all this. I think you spoke about McTominay for 5 minutes. And the question started with me, name me what attributes you like of McTominay. Technically, the only attribute that you mentioned, which is not really an attribute, but you mentioned goal scoring. For 5 minutes, I didn't hear anything about what a midfielder is supposed to do.
So I just mentioned about the change room.
But I heard everything you said. So, first of all, I respect your opinion. Don't even worry about that. My issue is that, first of all, you're not the only one that says that. A lot of United fans say the same thing. And this is why I always say that United fans are the own enemies of their own progress. I genuinely believe that. We are looking at McTominay and we're talking about character. We're talking about leadership. We're talking about role model. When am I going to finally sit here and I'm going to hear people talking about what is a midfielder supposed to do? I just want to, for once, talk about a footballer doing his job as a footballer. Thank you for the 10 goals, but I'd rather you be a decent midfielder than to come on for 10, 15 minutes and score a goal for me, because that's not what I look for from you. That's something I'll criticize my front line for not doing. So you saving their asses by doing that doesn't really give me what I wanted anyways. Because I'll tell you what, I keep saying this. If I had midfielders that could do their job throughout the 90 minutes, I wouldn't need last minute winners anyways. And that's the issue I always had with McTominay. I don't think if this guy, I'm gonna be really honest with you. I don't think if this guy was from Carrington, and if he was, well, he's Scottish, but if he wasn't from the culture, I promise you, people wouldn't want him. If this guy was Brazilian, if he was Belgian, it was something else. I swear, everyone would be like, "This guy's a bum, get him out." But because we look this sentiment about that we have towards Carrington and Academy products, when we look at them, we make 1,000,001 excuses for them. This player is really not good enough for most teams in the league. He's a good enough Premier League player. Don't get me wrong. If you want to say that, I agree with you on that. He's a good enough Premier League player. I don't think at the end of the day, if you scored 10 goals in the Premier League, at some point I need to look at you and be like, all right, something about you is probably good enough. Maybe you're not my cup of tea, but you're definitely good enough because you scored 10 goals in the Premier League. But when I look at the quality we're trying to reach, we sit here on Saeed's channel once and twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. And we try to talk about things in an analytical way. And we talk about what does Wilcox want to do? What does Ten Hag wants to do? What does Omar Barada want to do? And we look at all this stuff and we mention the style of football that we're trying to reach and the technical floor we're trying to reach and all that stuff. We have so many players in the squad that will never be a part of that. Aaron Wan-Bissaka was one of them. People looked at Mazraoui and they think Mazraoui's. I joked around. I said the Moroccan Cafu. I'm saying this as a joke because it just shows you how deprived we've been to having technical players. Everyone thought he was man of the match. The guy probably is looking at it. He's like, I used to do this all the time for Brighton. No one said anything. I can't believe the praise that I'm getting here. But it just shows you how much we've been deprived. It's like you were hungry and I put you in a buffet. You couldn't believe yourself. It's a cheap buffet, but you couldn't believe it because you've been starving for days. That's what we are. I cannot look at McTominay and say, oh, we got to give him an extension next year because of this and that. No. He is pure profit if we sell him, Yaba. And that's why it's very important for us to understand that. PSR is on everyone's ass. He's an academy product. Anything you sell him for, even if it's just $1 million, that is pure profit, let alone 25 mil that we were trying to get for him. So when you put all these together, you have to understand this is why the United fans want to get rid of him, because we see the potential of what we can replace him with. I'm not a big fan of Ugarte, but Ugarte is miles ahead of McTominay. You might not, or Elite Pundit might not be a big fan of Rabiot, but we all know he's miles ahead of him. Even Sanderberg, I thought Sanderberg was better than him, and that's why I was gutted that he left. So we need to be really realistic.
Good profile, Sanderberg.
10 goals won't cut it, bro.
It's about profiles now. I think the problem is right now, I think we are now moving away from what doesn't fit the profile, of Ten Hag, because rightly or wrongly, we are back in Ten Hag now, aren't we? In shape or form, because we have to now, he's here now, so we have to just kind of always get on with it. So whether you believe in him or not, we have to get on with it. So now we're eradicating every excuse. So now McTominay can't play in this system. Well, he's got to go now. Wan-Bissaka can't play in this system. He's got to go now. You know what I mean? So, and maybe next season might be a Mason Mount conversation.
Saeed, just to add to that, I don't even think it's necessarily just back in Ten Hag. It's United as a whole want to play a certain style of football. If Ten Hag goes, if it doesn't work out, we still want to play this like attacking brand of football. Maybe with more possession, maybe more, like depends on the manager we go after if Ten Hag doesn't work out. So the recruiting team is looking at it and saying, I don't think Wan-Bissaka is going to work long term. He should go. I don't think McTominay is going to work long term. He should go. People really love Maguire, and I think he performed well against Fulham. They're not going to renew his contract because long term he's not going to work out and he's going to go. So it's not really a bashing of McTominay, because even for Bruno Fernandes, I don't think he's going to work long term and he's going to need to go. So there's even Marcus Rashford. So nobody's ganging up on McTominay and saying he's this horrible footballer that needs to go. But we want to get to the levels of winning Premier League titles again. Brian. And our technical floor, just to add this point, our technical floor against, like when Sir Alex Ferguson was here, one of our like lowest technical floors, our players we used to just bring in Fletcher, Ji-Sung Park. People hear these names and like, oh, they just ran around. They were very good footballers.
No, even O'Shea and Brown. 100%. That's what actually I was about to say that. Right. I was about to say that right now when the word technical floor. What we're trying to do right now, before we address the Brunos, before we address the Rashfords, before we address all these people, you have to raise the floor first. I cannot look at a Bruno and I cannot look at a Rashford. And listen, even Casemiro, the only reason I wanted Casemiro out is because I understood the money behind it. But if all of them were even value, he wouldn't be one of the first ones I want out. Because as you said, the Aaron Wan-Bissakas, the McTominays, you have to raise the floor first. Go back to having a good technical base that you can look at. You're like, you know what? I can kind of rival some teams with this. I can kind of speak to us. I can kind of speak to Liverpool. I can kind of speak to Spurs. I can kind of speak even to Brighton, because all these teams have a very good technical floor. Then what separates us from the rest is that when we reach that, because we are a big club and we make money and we attract big names, then that's when you replace Bruno with whoever's out at that time. Let me see who's the best 10 in the world at that time. Top 3. Let me try to get one of them. Let me see who's some of the best left wingers in the world. Now I'll replace Rashford with them. But I can never reach that point when I'm still looking at McTominay. I'm like, yeah, I'm happy he runs around and he scores me a header here and there and a tap in here and there. I cannot, bro. We have to reach that, and we have to address it with the players that we have right now. Aaron Wan-Bissaka was the first one out, and as I said, I'm happy with it. McTominay, I'm sorry, you have to be next. That doesn't dismiss, by the way, the fact that Eriksen needs to leave, because Yaba said that, and I kind of hear it. Because I'm not gonna lie, I think he's gonna be very useless for us next year. He's not gonna be able to run in that midfield. He's not on that physical level. I hardly see any minutes for him. He's probably gonna play a League Cup game here and there, maybe some Europa League minutes, and that's about it. But to get some money, and as Brian said, to raise the technical floor, you have to get rid of the likes of McTominay. Saeed, listen, love for having me, but I gotta go because I have to.
Big up. We're gonna redirect later on to him.
Yeah, big up to everyone here. Everyone, smash a like on the video. Listen, Saeed, I know you're close to 100K. I don't know how much you're at now, but everyone who's here, I'm pretty sure about 50% of the people that watch the video don't even subscribe yet. We all see the YouTube stats, by the way. So don't let me expose you guys, okay? But subscribe to the channel and get my guy to 100K, man.
Come on, big up my guy. Big up my guy.
Love.
TV. Big up to you, man. Give me Musiala, Bomba, Zirkzee, Agent.
That's I would love
year.
Musiala, man. I would love
Musiala. Is one of them, but I don't.
He's gonna cost 200 million. Like, he's never leaving Bayern. But yeah, no. I think we do need to. I think the point that Brian and Staffy made shouldn't go unnoticed. Like, I agree with to Yaba's point. I think fans almost undersell industrious players now. I think most great teams have industrious players in there, right? Mm-hmm. But the technical floor of those industrious players are at a level where it's okay. For instance, like, I think a lot of people, when they think of Roy Keane, they think of him as more of a, he's an industrious. He just ran around and tackled people. No, he was actually technically fantastic. Like a fantastic player. Like, I obviously I didn't, like, I was too young to watch him, but like, I went back and watched, and I'm like, yo, he was cold. Like, he was cold, and people don't understand that. Like, yeah, McTominay can get about cool. Even Mason Mount, he's getting about right now. Like, I think he led the league in counter pressures this past weekend. But we need more on the ball.
We need more. We need
more. I said the same thing
on the ball.
On that point, now I think you mentioned Roy Keane. Obviously, that is a great player. But he was complete with all the attributes as a midfielder. Them times, it wasn't like your specific role, you're pigeonholed as a or a Makalady role or anything like that.
Right.
It's in modern times, we're talking like that. Them times, Paul Ince, Brian Robson, Roy Keane could do everything, bit of everything. And that's what made them great, complete midfielders. What we have now, we're talking about McTominay, obviously. I know some people love him, some people dislike him, as proven. Do you know what I'm saying? We always have this debate. But I think the players these days need to be complete. McTominay's good at one attribute, but people don't like. They want to see technique and control and good long, short range passing and playing between the lines, and that's what they want to see, But what some players that can do that are not maybe not complete in McTominay's areas, where the physicality. We all agree, coming into the Premiership, you need to have that physical element as well. And what's missing when you're talking about the identity of a number 6 for Man United? We need someone who's got that physicality to be able to deal with balls and start and man-to-man, duels and all that kind of thing. And you also need someone with a technical ability to pick up the ball from the back in the first phase of play and play the passing and up like that. So who fits the bill? So at the moment, we're having to have someone. Well, I think you mentioned Kobe earlier. He's complete. I love him as a player. He's absolute delight to watch. But everyone else, Collier's got a bit of something. We're talking earlier on the show, those graphs you have for the circle and all the pointy bits to say what they're good at and what they think. You know, I would like to see, obviously, McTominay's one would be pro physical, defensive, headers, running stats, and all that kind of thing. But the technical would be low. So let's try and get a player who ticks the boxes and could do a bit of the physical and a bit of the more of the technical as well. PSG just got rid of, they're trying to get rid of Ugarte, and they've got two players who are 5'6", who wouldn't, I don't think, as good as they are, would work in the Premiership necessarily, because they would get eaten alive. In the Neves guy they bought from Benfica, and Vitinha, who's class. I love him, but there's no guarantee that these guys playing in the French league, possession, best team in the league, their possession, they can manage that as that sort of role. But
the only coach in world football that can make those kind of midfielders work is Pep.
Yeah, could they transfer that with the physical aspect into the Premier League, where they're going to be targeted and saying, we're going to exploit you? Same way Martinez came in with his short self, and he had to be tested. De Gea came in. They said, look at this guy. Let's get him in corners. Test him. You're going to get a test physical. And Casemiro as well, which is why he made that quote earlier, why there's a difference between playing in the Prem. You need to have a bit more about you physically. And so hopefully when we're looking for this guy who's going to come in and fulfill that role, whether it's Rabiot, he said it earlier, I don't know, or
I think,
we got to compete, have that complete player.
I think for me, it's just important that we get a midfielder. And if it's two, I think we're all
We'll
happy.
get one. We'll get one.
You know? If it means one, then it means one. But
and if we don't get two, we got to just
listen. What would you do? Just an open question to the panel. What do you think would be more beneficial to the squad if we got? And there's a low chance of this happening, but if we got Ugarte, and we say we sold McTominay and we sold Sancho, because the Sancho rumors are not going away, and we brought in last minute bid, deadline day, we went for Braithwaite and we brought him into the team.
We're not going to get Braithwaite.
No, I'm just saying, what would be more beneficial, him or adding another midfielder into the team?
Another midfielder. We're calm with centre back. I've seen enough from Maguire, you know what I mean, in the last couple of weeks. And just
I think I think the fourth choice. I think our centre back issues have been, what's the word I'm looking for? It hasn't been as bad as we've made out over the past couple of seasons.
Absolutely.
You know, last season, obviously last season, that's a wash.
But that was because of the midfield.
That was more because of the midfield. But the season before, right, I think it was one of our best defensive
Third best defense in the league, bro.
Since Van Gaal, right? That's the best defense we had. Yep. Mind you, Martinez, remember, don't forget, Martinez had long spells out at the back end of the season. Varane was in and out kind of the whole season. And we were still fine. So listen, I've never been Harry Maguire's biggest fan. I like Lindelof more than most people, but most people don't like him. So most people don't like him. That's fine. That's fine, right? But the point, I think the point I'm trying to make is, if we have De Ligt, Lissandro, Yoro's going to be back in December, but let's just say Maguire for right now, then Yoro, we're fine. Yeah, our midfield is. It needs to be balanced. It's still unbalanced. That's why I think we should play with 4 midfield players like we did last week until we get in another midfielder to keep the balance, to keep the shape in the first few weeks. Let's say we bring in Ugarte. Okay, now we can open things up a bit more because we have that robust midfielder, whatever you want to say.
But that's why I think the signing of Zirkzee is so good, because he plays in that space where he drops into midfield anyway. Which will allow Bruno Fernandes to go forward. And I think Zirkzee is a lot more competent in keeping the ball. He's not going to make an erratic pass. He has the ability to carry it because he's 6'4", he's powerful still. So I think we can afford to drop Mount, because I saw a lot of people saying we don't have to drop Mount because of his pressing. I think we can afford to drop Mount. I don't know how 100% Zirkzee is yet, but in terms of profile, Zirkzee will slot him pretty nicely in that role to help balance out the team a lot better.
I think most people agree with you. I would personally go with that same lineup for one more week, right? Agreed. Because we have Brighton. I watched Brighton versus Everton. I want to say this too, Brian. Everton did not look bad for the first 55 minutes of that game. I'm sticking by it. No. The first 50.
They had chance, to be fair. No.
He's saying that Everton are not going to get relegated. Well, I said Everton will get relegated this season.
When the second goal went in, it was a wrap. But I think Brighton can be got at. The point I'm trying to make is, I think we can actually get at Brighton if we just stay compact and retain possession in certain moments. So I would prefer to. Zirkzee obviously is great at that. But I'm just saying, like, we need to win the ball back. We can't let them sit on the ball for 10-minute spells at a time, or they will kill us. We've seen it over the past 2-3 seasons now. So we need 4 midfield players, stay compact, win the ball back high, because Mason, and to be fair, Mason and Bruno, when they're pressing, it actually helps Bruno. Bruno's a bit more, has more freedom, because Mason's more positionally aware, whatever you want to say. So just stick with it for one more week, get through Brighton, bring in a midfielder. We start Zirkzee the 3rd week, baby. We're good.
I totally agree with you. I think we should. Everyone's calling, because after I saw Zirkzee come on, I thought everyone said he's got to start. Zirkzee's got to start the next game, and I don't think it's a given that he should start.
I would personally start.
We should start with Mount, as we did. Sorry, Saeed.
So
go ahead.
No, I just think, for me, your point there is that I would start Zirkzee against Brighton, because I want a little bit of momentum going into Liverpool game, because we've got Liverpool next week, and then I wouldn't just want to rush him against Van Dijk. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I would rather him have a bit.
Can we talk about Zirkzee? Have you talked about him yet? Because I'm really excited about this guy. Man.
Yeah. I was gonna quickly discuss the Rashford news. I don't know.
Yeah, go on, no. But can Rashford we get later talk about Zirkzee?
Yeah, no, we will.
What Rashford news?
I don't know if he said like a dead news here, but there was some news coming out saying,
you know, they do this every season.
Yeah,
like,
bro, they're looking at Liao. Did you see Liao? The Liao one is credible, though.
They can't afford him.
They can't afford him, though. So I don't understand.
They can't afford him.
They're gonna do some kind of weird thing, aren't they? Barcelona.
Sorry, go ahead. Let me respond to this, because this is an issue I have with. I think fans just think too narrow-minded sometimes. Brighton last season finished 4th in the whole league in possession, right? They're dominating everybody. Like, in terms of on the ball, it's not just little clubs. They are a possession-based team. We will not have more possession than them this next game. I'll put whatever money on that. We're not going to have more possession than them. So what do we need to do? We need to find those moments where they're going to make mistakes. Like, shout out to, I was screaming about Mats Vifer all summer. He didn't have a good game. I watched that whole game. He struggled. And there was moments where he lost the ball in dangerous moments. He almost gave up a penalty. So let's test him. Let's test him under pressure, press the ball high. Everton pressed him really well that he lost the ball in dangerous moments. We need to do the same exact thing. Force them to make mistakes. He's their new signing, Mats Vifer for Brighton. He's their new he's a
DM.
He's a DM. Yep.
DM.
They just I'm a big fan of his. But he didn't have he's from Netherlands. He's from the Netherlands.
Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. So he came from Feyenoord.
Feyenoord, yeah.
Yep, he came from Feyenoord.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting, isn't it, that Brighton have got a 31-year-old manager. I mean, wow.
Yeah, he's young.
He must be, have a good foundation.
They're playing the same way.
Premiership pros like that.
They're playing the same way. Yep.
It'll be interesting to see how they develop. But you talk about the possession thing with Brighton as well. It's going to be an interesting game to see how we fare, because people are saying, obviously, we banter throughout the week, but rival fans say, Fulham, you wait till you come up against a good team. You know, if Fulham would have beaten us, then we would have got cussed the same way. We always, our neck is always on the chopping block, isn't it? Just that close.
No, of course.
As Man United, it's like showtime. We are the showcase club. So anything, it's just, there's always fine details. This is why we love talking about our club. Everyone's ready, waiting to pounce on us. But
everybody's waiting for that Brighton game.
They're calling the Brighton game.
These comments are hilarious. Are people not acting like Brighton haven't worked us the past 2 seasons? Like, what are we? They beat us 3-0 last season. They beat us 3-1 last season. We were acting like, listen.
And that game, the last game of the season, they should have won that game. They had loads of chances. We obviously on the break.
I'm not. I think we'll win if we do the right things. This is if we do the right things, bro. Like, this isn't FIFA, right? Like, this is a real club.
Do you think De Ligt should start ahead of Maguire, or do you think Maguire should start?
De Ligt should start.
I think De Ligt should start. I do.
We need momentum, man.
I know. I agree. So, Yaba, to your point, I hear that, because Maguire performed well. 1000% agree. I think the challenge, though, is the pay. If I don't want to see him get isolated versus a Matoma or a
Minta
or a Minta, like that's my ultimate fear.
That's Maguire's weakness, right?
That's
there.
his weakness is
those kind of players.
If Like you see the moment where he was the 2v1 where Fulham should have that moment. Matoma's taking advantage of that. That's a problem.
I would look as a defender. I think he done the right thing. He cut the angle.
Yeah, 100%. But I think he did well. He did well.
That's good defending.
No, I completely agree.
You have to give praise. It was an outstanding performance.
That was good.
His distribution, leadership. Yeah. I mean, fair play. This guy's got thick skin, and he's actually, with all the persecution that he's had from going way back, he still remains there. And people might not like him or everything, but he performed really well.
No, he did.
Give the guy credit. So while he's at the club, let's support him. But yeah, with the lit and the fight coming in, and you want to bed him in, like Saeed made a good point about Zirkzee, why he would start Zirkzee, because you want to bed this guy in. You know, these are great options, discussions we weren't having last season about squad rotation. And it's good that we're now talking about, who's going to play and how exciting it is to have different variables to come in and outside. And not just that, look at the difference in the profile between Zirkzee. I want to talk about Zirkzee and Holland or
Hoyland,
they're different players, you know. So there's so many options to talk about, and I'm really excited about all of that, rather than talking about, oh God, minus goal difference and we're losing games. Or
in my opinion, though, a brave manager selects De Ligt and Zirkzee to start. That is what I would do.
A brave manager.
In my opinion, because there's just no time to waste. We have Liverpool coming up, and I just think we need to take advantage of Brighton early on. Because if the game goes 0-0, as it did against Fulham, I don't think we're going to have that same situation. Because Man United need to win, right? We're going to push forward. I just think we need to start early, start fast, press them high, make them make mistakes, let their crowd quiet down, get the goals early, and then in the second half, you can take off Zirkzee, put in Mount for his energy and his pressing. But we need to be on the front foot early for me.
I would personally do it the complete opposite way. I'll be real. Like I think Brighton are going to, and I know the comments are like, "Oh, this is Brighton. How can you talk about?" They will outpossess us. This is just, I would be absolutely stunned if by the end of the game, even if we win or lose, that we had more possession than them. And you mentioned the press, right? I'm not. I don't know. I haven't seen Zirkzee enough to talk about, you know, how great he is in the press, but like it or not, Mason Mount kind of made the press tick last week, right? So that's just the reality. Again, on the ball, we need way more from him. Way more. But I think this specific team, this has been our I think this has been our bogey team. Brighton has been our I can't really think of a team that's surviving,
bro. It's surviving.
That's why for me Zirkzee should start, because if Brighton are going to dominate the ball,
exactly,
right? Yeah, you're going to need to do the right things when you get the ball, and for me, Zirkzee will do that. And Mount just hasn't done enough for me to contribute on the ball. Like, his pressing is great, but you can bypass pressing. Like, no matter how good you are in pressing, it can be bypassed, right? So for me, I would rather have someone that is good on the ball, that is going to bring our forwards into play, that's going to let Rashford go beyond, that's going to let Bruno go beyond. And it's an unknown quantity. Everybody knows what Mount is going to do. These centre-backs don't know what Zirkzee is. They don't know what he's going to do. Like, they might analyze his clips and everything, but it's still a challenge that a lot of centre-backs haven't faced in the Premier League. So for me, I would go Zirkzee. But I understand why you'd want to go Mount.
If Zirkzee starts, I will be excited.
It's got to happen, man.
I'm confident he's going to very quickly become my favorite player. I can see the writing on the wall.
When he started to touch the ball and he
is the type of player that I absolutely love, right? Those second strikers that drop deep, link play, can hold the ball up, 1 touch, 2 touch. That's the type of player I like. So Zirkzee, when I'm saying I don't want Zirkzee to start next, I'm not saying like this is I'm not a fan of Zirkzee. Like, he will, in my opinion, he will eventually be that starter. Like, I think he should be that starter. I just know how the Brighton games are for us, and I have the nightmares in my head. Right. Again, I think they can be got. I think they can be got at if we win the ball high up the pitch at the right moments, because they will make mistakes, but we just have to have the trigger at the right time for them to make. You see what I'm saying? Like, it has to be the right press, the right moment, the right time.
And that's something we seem to be improving on. In the final third, we're a bit more clinical. We're, like we said, you said earlier about popping the ball around and being decisive. I think we created, you look at the chances we created, it could have been 4-0 against Fulham. And some of the chances we created were from an organised press with the 2 10s.
Our press is good,
Bruno and Mount doing little things, and spinning off and getting behind and playing in between the lines and sort of playing against their back line. At some points, there was like 4 players against their back line, stretching them and creating opportunities and little rotations, things like that. That's how you open teams up. So I think you keep mentioning about possession with Brighton. Yeah, they do have good possessions, but what you do with it. And because we're more secure now, I know they were killing us last couple of seasons because we were too wide open. We weren't really listening to the manager and following instruction. Now we seem more secure. We have more idea of how we need to play on and off the ball. So I don't think they're going to walk through us the way they used to play up from the back and suck us in, and then we're chasing shadows. I think we can improve on that. So, and the evidence for that, me, is the FA Cup final Charity Shield game against a team who probably have the number 1 possession stats in Man City. How many times did they walk through us? We gave them the width. Yep, take that. But we were solid in the middle, quite nice and narrow, and kept it nice and compact. And they found it difficult to really have open us up. So I think we've improved in that sense.
Saeed, sorry, I was going to say, Saeed, you brought up the Marcus Rashford thing. Is there a particular reason why you brought that up, or like, do you think?
No. I just felt to myself that there was some sort of truth in it, or some sort of like, because like I said, Liao, they were looking at Liao as possibly a left winger that they were looking at for. But right now, Rashford, he's start performing, man, and I think for me, he could keep that spot. But I've got a feeling this weekend he might change that front 3. Whether it's Garnacho starting, whether it's Rashford drop, something's gonna change.
If he drops Ahmad, I'm going to rip my hair out. I'm letting you know that right now. I don't have a lot of hair.
Have you got hair?
I don't have a lot of hair, but I will rip out some of it if he doesn't start Ahmad. I'll say that right now.
It would be crazy if he drops Ahmad. It would be insane. It would make no sense.
I've been thinking about this, and as the week progresses, the more scared I get that he's going to drop him.
The only player that really should be jumped on that front line is, obviously, if you're putting Zirkzee in, is Rashford. I know people are going to be like, but Rashford made this really nice pass, but it's like, I'm watching this guy for 90 minutes.
Bro, he's not playing well.
He's just not in it. Like, it doesn't even make sense. It's gone past the point of he's in poor form, right? Yeah. He's just coasting through the game. Like, he's not playing like a player that is like, I'm a professional footballer, I want to get at it. You see him make the odd sprints, like his brain switches on, but it's very sporadic. It's really weird watching Rashford performances. So for me, it's like, it's not even hate. It's just, do people see this? Like, does it make sense to you?
Brian, regarding Rashford, you're talking about the Fulham game, yeah?
Yeah.
I think we want to see the best from Rashford, but I think his defensive work was really good. Really good. I mean, and obviously with Rashford as well, even though it's just him alone being on the pitch, defenders have to consider when we were breaking for the goal that we scored against Fulham, defenders didn't. Zirkzee created his own space, but Rashford made a run, and as a fullback or centre back, like, man, I cannot allow this guy to get into the space behind me. So I think he does give something still, even though I'm disappointed. I'm really frustrated with him a lot of the time. I think, he needs to improve. He does this celebration, but his IQ definitely needs to improve certain decision making he makes. But I understand why you would say maybe we can rotate, but for the game against Brighton, I'm still starting with Rashford because we've got options on the bench. And as we've seen with Garnacho in the Charity Shield or whatever, these players can come on and have impact. So slowly we can start incorporating these guys and starting these guys. Someone's going to get injured. So there's going to be opportunities there. And I think we need to keep as a manager, it's about keeping people motivated, keeping people hungry. So like you said, Kerry, about Ahmad, if you drop him, that might break his heart because he's done everything. He's gone on loan, he's gone away, he's come back, and now he's hungry and he's enthusiastic, and then you just blow out his candle like that, and that might break his heart. So as a manager, you have to sort of pick and choose. I manage the team, and my gosh, all day I'm supposed to be working. I'm going through politics and thinking of group chat and all this kind of thing, all these things, people moaning, people growing, and it's like, how do I get the best out of things? How do I get people to come and turn up and perform? It's a tough job. So We don't know what's going on with the teams. We have to wait to an hour before the game and see the team sheet and see what's going on.
So yeah, but I agree with a lot of what you said. Here's my challenge with Marcus Rashford, and I'm gonna say this as politely as like what Brian is saying is like, you know, what Brian is saying about it looks like I've always said that I just don't think he's quite to the level. I've never felt that he's quite to the level, but obviously he's Manc born and bred. He came through the system. He's overachieved no matter what my opinion is, he's overachieved as an academy player. Like it's an objective fact. Like in comparison to the hundreds that have been through the academy, he's overachieved, right? So, but my challenge is that he's essentially the same player he was at 20 that he is now. Like he hasn't really grown. He's had the, you know, the odd, you know, spike season where he'll score a 30, right? Or 30 goals in all comps, or he'll do 22, 23 goals in all comps. But generally, what he's been in his career is a, you know, 8 goal a game Premier League season guy. That's what he's been. If you look at the averages, that's right around where he's been his whole career. So it's not good enough.
I actually think he's gotten worse, if I'm being honest with you.
And
his
so
pace, man.
To that point,
caught by Tete.
To that point, it's that we've overplayed him. We've given him this mantle of, you know, he's the number 10 at Manchester United. We put a lot of, you know, there's a lot of variables, but the core of it is, I just don't think he's good enough. We've tried, we've given him minutes, we've done that. He's 26 now. He's 26. Like he's not this isn't potential anymore. This is who he is as a player. Like, yes, he'll have what he's shown us he's been in the first team since he was 18. Is it 18?
18,
So we have a 9-year sample size, right? That he blows hot and he blows cold. That is who he is. I don't think it's going to change.
I don't even think it's going to be a case of him. I just think his body is done. I think he's 27. He's going to be 28.
Is he 27? Yeah, I think he's 27. 26 or 27.
I think his body is done because, as Saeed said, he got caught by Tete over the weekend, and he's finding it more and more difficult to blast players with his pace.
Tete's not slow, by the way. Tete's not he's not.
No, he's not slow, but
come on.
Peak Marcus Rashford, you're not catching him, right? And for me, it's like I've watched him, and for me, if I was to look at him just from obviously seeing him on television to diagnose his performances, what's wrong with him, I think he's frustrated with his physical condition. Yep. It looks to me like a player that is trying to do what he could do before, but he can't do it. And that's why he looks like depressed on the pitch, if I'm being totally honest with you. Because his physical state, like I've watched other wingers for other teams, man. When they get the ball, they're gone. You're not catching them. And Rashford used to at least give us that. And people used to be upset with his decision making, right? But now he doesn't even get into those positions. You give Rashford the ball on the left wing, and he struggles to beat his man. Even if you put the ball in behind, he struggles to get in behind. So people are going to be like, "Oh, well, Tete is fast and this and that." But like, even at no stage did he look like he was getting past anybody last season.
You know, Brian,
it's not just about Tete. It's the whole season.
Brian, I hear what you're saying about that, and it's possibly true. You're making some good points there. But I think when you get to the age, like traditionally, is it Saeed used to say, coming a midfielder gets to the best stage from 27 to 31 or something. That's your best years of your career. Reason why for that, I think, is because your athleticism is up there, and then your IQ is like that. And now your experience is getting like that. You get to the level where everything matches up, where you get more IQ, you get more and balance that with it. So if he is struggling, like you said, remember he had a shoulder injury before, or I broke my back or whatever thing was going on with him. He was crying and whinging a lot of the time, and he probably was playing injured. But we expect now to have the best years of Rashford if we can now develop. The problem we had before under different structure, I can't imagine many players that we developed at the club. They've come to the club and they've improved as a player for us. Bruno still to play the same player he was when he arrived. Look at the impact he had when he first arrived to now. I don't think he's improved or we've developed him We want to be sitting as a club developing players, and so the issues that we have with Rashford, we want to see him develop now to have better decision making. All right, you can't burst a man anymore with pace, but you can burst him, get him lost in the Bermuda Triangle, pop it around. You know, that's how you create your own thing as a wide midfielder, rather than just running into space behind. Change your game. This is what he needs to do now. So it's the responsibility of Rashford. I'm imploring with you, my brother. Please listen to the coaches. Add something to your game so you can have more attributes on how you play your football. Because to me, he runs into traffic too much. Does the same thing. It's frustrating. Jockey to shoot. Wants to shoot. But mix up your game. You've got players around you like Ahmad, like Sancho, who can do have better attributes in that respect, more creative or more link-up play. And now the key thing for me, here's my main point I'm getting to. I'm getting there. It's like punchline of dropping bars, whatever. I'm getting to my point. When Rashford scored 30 goals, whatever it was a season, he had Weghorst. And now Weghorst say, he's a donkey, he's this, that, ever. But he was a guy that would link up the player and unselfishly create space for others. Because as a defender, you have to go with this guy. And now we've got Zirkzee, who to me is big like Weghorst, but boy, talented and the way his movement, his space, where there's trying to create space and everything else is great for our wingers. Our wingers weren't scoring last season. I would even trust Anthony to come in this season, play every game, and score goals. This contribution from a guy like Zirkzee is going to link up and pop, peel off. Defender comes in. He came on the pitch the other day, and suddenly Nacho bursting man, and the Robinson, who's quick, getting in behind because defense is getting panicky. Zirkzee's so intelligent. I think he can get Rashford and his wide men more goals this season, and that's going to help us push up the table.
Fulham. Brighton is a key game because this should be the kind of game where Rashford should cook, right? Because they're going to play high line. He should be able to get space. So we need him to step up. It's not even a case. We need him to step up because he's the main player in the team. And we need to know if this is a guy that who deserves to actually be starting, because we can't do what we did last season where he's in poor form, he never gets dropped. Ten Hag needs to be able to say, Rashford, you haven't played well. We're not getting what we want to get out of you. I'm going to give, if Sancho stays, for example, I'm going to give Sancho a run of games because you haven't been performing. That's what we need. We can't go into the season and keep hoping. I think I can for Rashford. He needs to step up, man. So we'll see.
100%. I think for me it's very, very key, man. We gotta have the expectation, man. But like I said, everyone has to chip in with the goals and assists, man. That's the key element this season, man. So we have to wait and see, man. But like I said to you, man, it is literally 11 days you say till the transfer window closes. You know what I mean? Ugarte, that one there it's gonna be a bomber where it comes out of nowhere, like, you know what I mean? Like United have reached
tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I mean tomorrow morning, maybe.
Tomorrow morning.
We hear Man United have reached an agreement with PSG for the loan of Manuel Ugarte with an obligation to buy
tickets.
And then boom. And I think if that's the end of our summer, then it's the end of summer. But we need that midfielder because we don't, and PSG end up keeping him. Or worse comes to worse, if someone else comes in for him, that's my fear as well, is that another Sander Berge comes in where, another team comes in for, because they did say that, there was other clubs in for Manuel Ugarte. It wasn't just only Man United that were in for him. So if there is
the Leeds too, to be fair. So I'm hoping that he's so obsessed with joining us that doesn't become a problem.
He should be. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, bro, like this is not a bad, you know what I mean? Like move to go to, man. A team that is looking to get back onto the up. A team that, once the pathway is set and Ineos has set in their minds where the project is,
it's going to play.
A scary project to be part of.
Has he agreed personal
23
terms?
as well.
Has he agreed personal terms?
I think that was agreed a while ago, yeah?
That was agreed a while ago, man. Early July, man.
A month and a half ago?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's been a while. I think, and again, I'll repeat this. I think it was the first thing I said on the stream is I'm not stressed about this deal. Like, I'm confident that they're not going to let PSG dupe us. Like, I'm pretty comfortable about it. Like, yeah, would it be nice to have two midfielders? Absolutely. That would be the dream. But if we were expecting perfection in the first window, I think that's a bit naive. You know what I'm saying? I think that we should expect progress. And in my opinion, I think from a business perspective, the progress is eye-catching. It's significant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that should be United fans' focus. Not even necessarily the deals or the player. Obviously, you want good players to come in, but we've had good players coming in and not had success. You need to see how the club is operating in the other things, right? How they're negotiating with players, how they're managing young players, right? How they're betting in young players into the squad, how they're investing, right? You know, we signed that young kid from Arsenal. I know we don't talk about that's technically a signing, right? You know, nipping the young talent away from our competitor, like little things like that fans don't think about should be the focus. Is like, because the signings, we're always going to make. We're Man United. We make signings every year. We've overspent. We've made the wrong decisions. So that should be the focus. You feel me?
If we get Ugarte in your opinion, who do you think is what's our best midfield? Because I know we have we have our thoughts on this, and some people are not going to like it. But what do you think your best three in midfield would be?
It's got to be for me, Ugarte, Casemiro, and listen. I don't think Bruno's going to get dropped, so I'm going to say Bruno. If you can do that.
No. You pick what you want. You pick what you want.
I put Maino in the 10 then. I put Maino in the 10. I think Maino is a 10. I really do. I think for me, his career will end up being a 10.
Femi, what are you thinking?
Honestly, I'm torn.
I know what you want to say. So just say it.
I would say Mount, Mainu.
Mount.
Over Bruno, yeah. I pick Bruno.
I take Bruno over Mount all day long.
And Ugarte. That's what I do.
I would go Mainu, Cass.
That's what I was torn on. I was torn on the Mount and Cass part. I think I'm.
Who played right back last game?
I don't see Ugarte and Casemiro.
Masraoui play right back. Dolo play left.
Okay.
I don't think Ugarte and Casemiro would be a good fit personally, but
I think it'd be a great fit. Actually,
well, okay, educate me. Maybe what am I missing here?
So, like I said, what is Casemiro great at? I think he's great at reading play, especially sitting back and protecting the back four. But what he struggles at is in those forward areas, being right in the opposition's D, right? Just that space. That's where Casemiro. He's great at progressive passing in that space, to my surprise, actually. But winning the ball in that area is where he struggles. But I think that's where Ugarte does a great job. He'll win that ball, he will intercept it before it breaks into our own half. But that's for me. That's what I see with his game, and I think that's what Ten Hag wants. But I think this team is a lot more balanced.
I think it's a lot more balanced than what we have right now. And you're selling me. You definitely because I was torn.
He loves to go
I was torn. In my head, I'm thinking like, okay, who comes on for them, right? If this is Collier, I guess, right? Or Bruno.
The Bruno defenders are going to see this and think we're crazy.
Oh, of course. I mean,
if I'm being realistic, yeah, then obviously Kobe Mainu drops, and then it's Bruno Fernandes in here.
Kobe's
that's the most realistic lineup. If you look at it there, that's probably the most realistic lineup.
You know what my biggest challenge with Ugarte is?
Yeah.
Is not even the profile of the player necessarily, because I think he's a good player. I think that if we sign him, he still doesn't necessarily balance the team. You see what I'm saying?
He does.
No, because again, this is under the pretense that Casemiro plays the same exact way he played.
Yeah, but that's the whole point, though. You're giving him extra protection.
So I'm okay. So we're just gonna. I'm torn. I'm honestly torn.
Well, the thing is, though, Casemiro wants to play as that 8. So then you got the option.
Because now, if you have Rabiot, it's easy. If it's Rabiot, if you bring in Rabiot into this team, it's cool. Ugarte, Rabiot, Mainu. Done.
Ugarte is an underrated ball carrier, though. Like he's actually underrated in that aspect. He's very tenacious. Like you have him in that midfield and Casemiro in that midfield. With the form at least, I'm hoping he can maintain the form he showed early on in this season. If Casemiro can maintain that and you have Ugarte,
listen, if Casemiro can maintain that level of form, then Casemiro's in that team. But I don't think he's gonna maintain this form. I will be honest. Like, he looks like he's slimmed down. He looks like he's really put in a lot of work this summer. So I hope that he proves me so wrong. Because Saeed knows I was defending him like crazy until the back end of last season. I was just like, I'm done. But
just the air, like, there's things he offers, Cas, that is hard to replace. Like, his aerial dominance is crazy.
This midfield
He's
right
so
here,
good in the air. It's ridiculous.
This midfield right here, the one
I would not play Bruno in this team. I'm sorry.
Who's retaining the ball here? Who's retaining the ball here? Tell me.
Ugarte will retain possession and keep it simple.
Okay.
I would play Mainu ahead of Bruno for me. Like, that is how I would use Kobe Mainu. My thought was always, with Kobe, he should be coming in for Bruno Fernandes.
It's not bad as well. It's not bad. Do you know what I mean? So
I mean, this is probably going to be the midfield.
Casemiro, I don't think he's getting dropped, man.
I don't think he's spending 60 million on Ugarte for him to hold bench.
He's not spending 60 million. He's not spending it this year though. He's spending it next year.
Sorry. I'm thinking of with loan obligation. I forget we're talking.
Yeah.
We still don't know what the deal is.
Do you think Ugarte is a Ten Hag signing or Ineos signing?
Ineos signing.
Ineos.
I think Ineos for sure.
So that's why maybe he might stick with Casemiro for this year. And then, you know what I mean? That might be a sticking point for the manager. He doesn't play Ugarte. The fan base get onto him. Then Casemiro has issues. There's a bit of rest in camp. And then next, he has to figure it out. But that's where, if you want to get rid of Casemiro in the summer, you could have done that. And then got in Ugarte ages ago. And then you had maybe someone like Rabiot who could rotate, or, you could have had someone else there that like a Sander Berge, who's relatively low cheap. Doesn't mind being on the bench. Sander Berge
you could have the best of both worlds, where you're like, Kobe plays some games, Bruno plays some games, and some games where they play together.
Bruno's never getting.
But this is what I'm talking about, man. This is what I'm talking about. Like, he is the manager. He's the coach of Manchester United. You need to be able to tell Bruno, sit down and rest. You actually look better when you have some rest. This guy never wants to rest. It's ridiculous. Rest Bruno. We'd get a better Bruno Fernandes when he's rested, actually, in my opinion. We have a lot of games with Europa League. He cannot play 60 games a season. Like, that's ridiculous for any player.
That's true.
Listen, I would agree, but Bruno is a physical anomaly. Let's just be real. Like, if he was gonna break down, he would have broken down by now. He has a uncanny ability to stay fit.
But it seems that when he's tired, he still tries the thing he likes to try, but he looks worse. He looks worse.
Of course. I completely agree. Listen, I think this 3 is going to be the 3. I'm pretty confident about that. Yeah. We were trying to get, like, Casemiro was kind of on the ropes here maybe 6 weeks ago. We're talking about him being elsewhere. So listen, Casemiro's going to play. He's going to play, obviously, but I think Ugarte is coming in as a
starter.
He's 20. What is he? 24 or 23, right? He's the right profile. He has way more energy than Casemiro at this point in his career, right? So
it's not a bad team.
It's not a bad team. It's not a bad team. I think the back four is really good.
Yeah, I'm giving this team a good solid 7.5 out of 10. Night. It's not a bad team at all. Let me know in the chat.
In comparison to what Man United teams of old, because I'd give.
No, I think in comparison to last season, I think this is a. Ugarte gives us more legs, and I think he does more of what Ten Hag wants in the defensive point of view of winning that ball back early and helping the press. I think he helps with that. I think we'd have an actually, so backline is really good too, technically speaking as well.
It's a definite upgrade on last season. I thought you were. If we're comparing it to
look who we had, man.
Yeah, it was pretty bad season. But
Sancho, listen, Sancho's not rated by the manager. It's like, it feels like for me, I'm doing a disservice to Sancho.
Listen, I've tried my best to.
Do you think he goes, Saeed? Do you think we sell Sancho?
Bro, right now, I think there's more likely he stays.
Let him go, man. Just let the kid go play, man. Let the kid go play football, man.
Unless Juventus coming for him, I think he stays, Because
I
now
don't think he. Listen, Juventus got this young kid I saw this weekend. Man, he was going crazy.
The PSG one was when I was thinking that he might go there because Desidu is there because they're getting out Adama Lookman. I don't know, unless
Barcelona, if Barcelona works because they want the left winger.
They don't have money, bro. They don't have.
What? Hansi Flick would love him as well.
They don't have. They have to sell parts of their team of Barcelona to buy players. Like they don't have they don't have money. They're they're giving rights to like Spotify.
By the way, we have to play Gundogan again, guys.
What is the new? I saw Gundogan in the transfer gossip. What's going on?
He's going to Man City. He's coming back to Man City.
Man City.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
For me, number 5, I can't lie to you, might
scary.
be
That's scary.
I can't lie.
It's not a good sign.
There was one move that I was like, they need something.
Gundogan, yeah.
Scores goals.
Ilkay Gundogan is still a player, man.
I'm not. The team that should be worried about Gundogan is Arsenal. Like we are at a different place.
We're in a different place.
We're in a different place completely. Arsenal should be worried about Gundogan, and they should worry about what they need to do in the market. Because for me, he's 33. By the time we are ready to compete for the league, he will not be a factor, in my opinion.
Unless they get Adam Wharton, which is
yeah, that would be a problem.
Adam Wharton is the guy, man. You need to get Adam Wharton.
Genuinely, man. The midfield and everything. For me, I couldn't pick one. I was thinking about it a lot, but for me, the two best players are Mainu and Bruno, and then you got to work around that. If Casemiro is playing like he did the other day, where he's sorting out things, I think his decision making has been poor. He goes to ground a lot. He gets caught out of position a lot. He needs to, like Rashford, I think he needs to adapt. Talking all that, but action speaks louder than the words. If you're going to say the Premiership's different and you need to adapt, which he does, still as a challenge for him. And I think he's going to be motivated to do that. He's come back slimline, Casemiro. He's not looking like a pudding anymore. So I think if he can sort his game out and judge things better, and not go to ground and not leave us, in poor situations like he has done, then he would be our better third man in that midfield. And Ugarte will have to hold Ben. I can't talk about Ugarte. That's why I'm lost.
Yeah.
I'm not qualified to discuss him or to see him until I see him for 6 months in the Premier League. Then I'll say, okay, I assessed him and seen what he's got. But the scouts, I trust in them. They seem to know what they're doing.
Just before we go, give me one surprise signing that Man United might get. One surprise. I'm going to say it's Rabiot because I don't think he's someone that we've been looking at as much as last year. So I'm going to say Rabiot. Tell me you go.
I find this one pretty interesting because this player is clearly not playing for his team and he's reportedly leaving, but there's been no Premier League club linked to him yet, and that's Ivan Toney. So like legitimately linked, right? He's out of the side. Their manager last week said that he's leaving.
McTominay Pro Max, Leon Goretzka.
Wallahi, we get this guy, we're finished.
You know what's funny? I used to like Goretzka a lot, man. I don't know what
Jesus Christ.
I used to like Goretzka a lot, but I think Ivan Toney would be my surprise.
Yeah, Brian, what are you saying?
Brian Tweets. Brian Tweets would be my surprise.
You said that as well.
Yeah, he would be, because for me, if we make the sales we can make, and one of the number one targets we wanted this season was a left-sided defender. That is what Ineos went into the market and wanted. I think we got the Leeds because we couldn't get Todibo. I think Todibo was supposed to come in, but we couldn't get him and went for the Leeds instead. We still want that left-sided defender. And if we can raise funds, I think we go for Brian Tweet because the team would be more balanced. I love Martinez and love what he brings. But I had to think about it and I said, okay, if you put Brantwaite in, he replaces what Casemiro gives us with the aerial dominance, and he adds to the team being able to cover large spaces and defend in wide areas, because we've seen Martinez a few times now get skinned in the wide areas. It happened against Manchester City in the Community Shield. Oscar Bob did him. It's Adama Traore who got the best of him, even though he recovered. He's going to fight hard and try, but I just think for our system as a whole, I can see why Ineos are targeting someone like Brian Tweet long term. So, but if it doesn't happen this summer, I think next summer, obviously. But this summer, I think if you wanted to shock everybody and really make a statement, it would be Brian Tweet long term.
Yabo, give me your one.
A surprise signing. I would say all is forgiven. if Frankie de Jong comes to the club because I love that guy.
Frankie.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
What leg?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. It's unlikely, but that would surprise me, and it would be
a good one.
That's a really good one because I love Frankie de Jong. I was
brilliant, isn't he? Don't you just love him as a player?
Brilliant player.
Fantastic.
Brilliant player.
Sancho swap.
Yeah.
I know. I'm surprised. Honestly, this is off topic. I'm surprised when football swap deals don't happen more, man. I'm honestly.
That's an American thing, isn't it?
It is.
It's getting everybody to agree to terms is the difficult thing.
Yeah,
and agents get greedy and clubs get greedy.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Fair.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah, like I said, we'll see, man. I just hope, man. Listen, last 10 days, it's gonna be a good time. Everyone just be on the socials, on the buttons, man, and just find out. Yeah, Amrabat's another one. He's lurking around, you know. Lurking around.
Hey man, he played this past weekend too. He played
He played Fiorentina.
Yeah, he started.
I bet his phone ain't on silent.
Did he start against Fiorentina?
Yeah, he started this past weekend. Yeah.
But did they win? Did they win?
Was it a draw or something? I think it was a draw.
I think it was a draw. I think I remember saying it was a draw.
Was it a draw against Parma?
Man,
Did David play?
No.
Was he even on the bench? No. Yeah, David on the bench.
Serie A was good this past weekend, man. If you don't watch, tune in. It was good viewing.
Yeah, man.
So
I've been following La Liga more because I want to see how this Mbappe experiment is going to work.
I've been doing. I did the watch along for the Real Madrid game. Fun game. Shout out to Mallorca.
When's that next game?
Sunday. I'll be doing another watch along for that.
Why do they do Sundays,
fam? Where can we catch you, Timmy, for watching?
Right.
Sunday 4:00. You know what? Forget the Real Madrid game. I'm doing that game. Yeah.
What game?
Yeah, man. The Real Madrid. I think Liverpool are playing Brentford. Forget Liverpool, man. We're doing Real Madrid instead. Real Madrid hate watching it, man. We're on that now. This season.
Real Madrid.
You're on the red.
Yeah, man, I'm a Barcelona fan this season, man.
Oh man.
Listen, Barcelona played some BT midfielders and got a win this past weekend. So
that's what I'm saying, bro. And these
respect La Masia, man. They spawn talents out of nowhere.
I'm literally saying Barcelona B players. Like I'm not.
Okay, I got you.
Literally, like they.
Okay. You know what is the Real Madrid though? They're too left-sided, but everyone wants to be on the left. Have you seen it?
Yeah. But it was. Listen, I think they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna.
Oh my god, they should get my retirement.
No,
they should do. You know what? No, we did. You know what we did with Paul Scholes? Remember we did with Paul Scholes?
Yes, that's funny.
They should get him out of retirement. Say, please.
They are missing. They are missing that like diagonal ball over the top. But listen, they're gonna figure it out. Look, they don't.
Are they? Yeah. Tchouameni, bro. Listen, I rate Tchouameni, but people go on like
his career has been kind of.
He's solid. No,
he's been for what he was hyped to be. He was hyped to be like a better defensive Pogba or something. So
he's a defensive-minded player. He's
a
good player.
He's not a guy. I think it's unbelievable passing range, and he's technically gifted. He's a ball winner. He's aggressive with his tenacious. But bro, he's not a Toni Kroos.
No, he's not Toni Kroos. But I think there's only you don't find those just growing on trees. They're gonna listen. They have enough quality in and around that. You know, the front six to make something shake. Right, like mind you, Camavinga's not playing. I think Camavinga will eventually be their tempo setter in midfield, right? He's going to speed up the play, right? Right now, it was a little too slow on this past Saturday, right? They were trying to but there was moments though. There was like little 3 minutes.
They need a Benzema in attack in that center forward position, because it reminds me of when Ronaldo initially joined, and you could see how unbalanced the team was. They tried to fit every single attack onto the pitch.
It wasn't unbalanced though. I'm gonna argue that.
It looked listen, they are so good, right? In my opinion, like Vinicius Jr. especially, really good at beating his man. They will score goals, but I just think that it's just that maybe they'll work it out.
What's gonna happen is when Camavinga comes back, they're gonna drop Rodrigo. They're going to do the same thing they did last season. They're going to split Vinny and Mbappe, kind of make them split strikers. They'll interchange, do all that fun stuff. Bellingham will be in behind them. Then there will be Camavinga, Rodrigo, Tchouameni as a 3. You know, Rodrigo will be on that right-hand side, you know, kind of running the channel. It'll be they're gonna
Goulet, man.
They're gonna rinse and repeat.
Oh man, that kid is something else.
He's a fantastic player. Listen, he's gonna get a lot.
So good.
He
reminds me of Mesut Ozil. He really does. He's a fantastic player.
He's gonna get a lot of game time this season. Because actually, let me not say that because Ancelotti likes Brahim Diaz, right? So, but he'll play. He'll still play. You know.
Yeah.
What about the Brazilian youth? The one.
Hendrick.
Honestly, he didn't play, but I don't.
When I've seen him play, he looked. I don't want to say this because I don't want people to clip me up, but he looks like Bebe. He looks like Bebe. I swear to God.
I was trying to find a way to say it.
Hendrick.
He doesn't.
He looks.
Hendrick. I can't lie. You know what's funny about him? Yeah, the guy was signing shirts like he played. Yeah, apparently he didn't play a game against.
No, he didn't play. He didn't play. It's almost like.
Did he come off the bench or did he play?
No, he didn't play. It's almost like a Santiago. You know, we all watch Goal, right? It's like Santiago Munez going from like, you know, the streets of LA to Real Madrid. It's like, it just doesn't really make any sense. But you know,
he looks off it so much.
Wow.
He looks off it. Really,
Arda Güler, he's gonna be a great player for them. He's gonna be a really good player for them, man. Yeah, but I don't know where he fits in right now because.
He's gonna be like Ozil, man.
We should be on watch. We should be on watch for any Real Madrid player that's not happy for game time.
Yeah,
because you know when Mbappe was at Paris, I'm sure he said he didn't want to play down the middle. What's happening at Real Madrid? Where is he playing?
So on Saturday he played through the middle, but there was a lot of interchange. Like there was rotation. They were very left-hand side heavy, right? It was sometimes it would be Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinicius, all kind of in a triangle. Wasn't
comment here. Big up Jason, man. The thing is with Vinicius, he had raw talent. I'm struggling to see what his qualities are in terms of like
he's supposed to be like a goal poacher. That's what Hendrick is.
Yeah,
that's what he is.
It's not the same. The Vinny talent versus Hendrick is not even. I honestly, if you look at Hendrick's highlights from Brazil, he looks like Sergio Aguero on steroids, right? Like with pace.
I know,
but
it's crazy.
I just don't personally see. And again, he's young. I haven't seen enough of him, right? It's just
100%.
I just in this Real Madrid team, there's just so many players ahead of him. I don't see
how old is Rodrigo, by the way.
22.
He's still in his mid-20s. He's still a young player.
I think for me, this is the one to watch out for next summer. Not this summer, but next summer he will be 24. Definitely the one to watch out for. I think for me, if United are looking at a right winger, especially left, bro.
No.
I would want Arda Güler. That would be the guy I'd want.
Yeah, go get Arda. Go get Arda. Arda will probably be cheap. Arda will probably because Rodrigo, they're gonna slap a 80 million euro price tag on him, right? It's not worth it.
Jason.
The thing is, not everyone can play. Not everyone can play. Like you said, there might be someone disheartened by.
But to be fair, they were unselfish. That front.
Sorry.
To be fair, they were very unselfish. I thought Vinny was unselfish. I thought Mbappe was unselfish, almost too unselfish sometimes. I think it's gonna work because I think they all are humble. Mbappe's coming in. He can't act like the big guy on campus, right? They're fresh off.
But he's going to. It's Mbappe. He's going to.
He's fresh off of a double. This is different. He sees Vinny in training. This isn't like, he's the definitively best. He's unquestioned best player. He sees Vinny in training. He sees, like there's competition now, right?
Did you see the clip where they were talking in the tunnel? And I don't know, it was Bellingham said that we need to finish an attack because running back is really hard.
Yeah, listen, they're gonna balance the team out. I think Rodrigo's eventually gonna hold bench, right? Because Ancelotti is gonna play with 4 midfield players, right? Just the same formula as last season, right? Bellingham is a 10, 2 split strikers, Rodrigo in behind, right? And Valverde, Tchouaméni, and Camavinga as their 3, quote unquote solid midfield players with Bellingham.
But Vinny is their best player, in my opinion. Even with Mbappe added, Vinny is
He
Next
looks.
level.
I think we'll have to wait and
It's
see.
next
I
level.
still want to see it. I think.
Yeah. No, we will. We will be there. We will be there.
Yeah,
guys.
one of the
We will be
most interesting parts of this season is going to be who's the best player on that team, because I don't think there's much between them. I really don't. I really don't.
Saeed, we're in the UK. Where do you get to watch Spanish football, bro?
Sometimes on ITV1, but I've got Premier Sports. If you got, it's about £10 a month online. I watch it on there, and I've got Bing Sports as well, which I pay for.
You guys, I can't even engage this conversation. I don't even know what's going on.
No.
Didn't they?
It's on ITV sometimes on a Sunday. You might find it on ITV.
Thank you.
Yeah. Watching this Madrid team would be, I think, one of the best things to do in football this season.
Oh, this season.
Yes.
Oh, best.
100%.
It's going to be because I think it's going to be like this to start.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like this to start. It's going to be a little bit rocky, which will make the intrigue even more. It'll just be fascinating to watch, right?
It's really what gets me is Ancelotti. I mean, obviously he played in a great AC Milan team, but he's able to manage top players.
Oh yeah,
whoever he does it, I don't know. He's probably got a lot of charisma and people respect him. But that's a really tough challenge to get the players like that, great players, to click. With the and everything they have. So good luck to them, man. Good luck to them.
If they don't win the Champions League,
it'll be a big deal. But it'll be a big deal. But
bro,
to Yaba's point, I think Ancelotti he's the best man. Well, I won't say it. Him and Sir Alex Ferguson are the two best man managers in history, in my opinion. They just know how to manage egos. You rarely hear Ancelotti teams, there's big fallouts and this player is, and it just doesn't really happen, right?
I think Saeed will have a shout for that. Look at how he manages all these big personalities coming in his show. We never see any fallouts,
Yeah.
Oh, energy, man. But listen, people, we're gonna wrap up here. It's been a good show, man. Good show. Like I said to you, late vibes. If you are late nighters in the UK, this is a show for you. You know what I mean? Just chill vibes, not shouting, just talking about football, giving our opinions. Tammy, big up to you, man. As always, man, for giving your time and that. Yeah, man, big up, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you, as always, Saeed, for showing some love. No stream on my channel tonight, but we will be going live tomorrow again. So make sure we're going live pretty much every day. Outside of maybe doing a stream with Saeed, we're going to be going live every single day. So make sure to tune in. Shout out to the panel, Brian. I'll see you soon as always. Yeah, but I'd love to get you on my channel as well. So please, I'll hit you up. Much love to the panel, man.
Come on. Big up Yaba as well, man. Make sure you follow him as well. Big up to you, man, Yaba.
Yeah, once again, I mean, we're doing it on rotation, aren't we? Me and Mr. B. We represent the Man United agenda. And Saeed is like a good man for the community of podcasting. He's bringing man in, getting us on shows like this. And it's great fun. I really enjoy it. So I love you guys. Temi, Brian, as always, and Saeed, thank you so much. And big up to everyone in the comments as well. Make sure you support the channel and the community and get behind everyone. There's a lot of hard work that goes into all this kind of thing. And let's get that 100K. Is that 100K you're looking?
Yeah. 100K, literally less than
100K. Soon as, let's go.
Come on, man. Big up, man. And obviously big up to Elite Pundit, man. Let them know.
Yeah, man. Like, join me on Twitter where I troll. According to Saeed.
You are a troll. Don't even do that. You know you're a troll. You're a troll.
I just give my opinions, man. I just drop my opinions and leave. Like that's it.
That's it,
yeah. Honestly, though. But like, I mean, Saeed is doing a great job with the streams and everything. So, hey, 100K is a huge achievement. You should do something for 100K, man.
Yeah, we will. We definitely will do something. We'll do something, man. You know what I mean? But like I said, man, we got to work still. Got to keep grinding. And that will come, man. Hopefully by the end of the weekend, maybe end of next week. Who knows, man? But we'll be here. Know what I mean? So we got time, man. But yeah, guys, we're going to raid Staffy. I think they've got American Waffle. What should we raid them? What should we say? Tell me. Is there anything that you want to say in like American that's funny?
No, just say Casemiro in.
Casemiro.
You know how Staffy feels about Casemiro, so
Casemiro
he's gonna be livid.
Guys in the chat, you know what to do. Just spam in the chat on Staffy TV. Casemiro in. This guy doesn't like him. And I'll be back tomorrow for the Mandem talk. I'll see you lot tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye. Peace.